Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have been breaking down this season, season 18 of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I am on episode 7. So we are just going to be going down. I'm going to keep it a little bit brief because I've put off filming this video until right now. And not only do I have to film this right now, but then after I'm done filming it, I have to edit and then post it and make a thumbnail, which is easy for me for the most part. Kind of have a system down now, so we're getting there. But if you appreciate all of the hard work I've done to have this video out for your viewing pleasure, please like, subscribe, comment, all of that jazz. I am trying to get to 500 subscribers, if you didn't know. So if you're not already subscribed and you're watching this, what are you doing? Subscribe. Trying to get to 500. So let's go, girl. It's time to go. Okay, we're just gonna jump right into it. Like I said, I'm keeping it brief for a lot of reasons, but also because I think there are only 2 main points to this episode personally that I took away from it. I could go down everything else and maybe I'll briefly touch on some things. I'm looking at my notes over here. This episode, the main things that I took away from it were really Shannon feeling hurt, obviously. Like she was, I think, is feeling very cornered by John and Alexis. And then she gets very emotional and we see her very, break down and cry to some of the girls. They are still at this point on their 2 separate trips at the beginning of the episode in La Quinta and Big Bear. So, and we see Shannon breaking down and crying to the girls, and she seems very tortured by what is happening right now. I'm sure it's not easy also to, break up with somebody and then them immediately move on. And it's not only move on, but then move on to somebody who now you have to constantly be around and be tortured by and just all of that. So I wrote down that I think it's just very shady that he's using this whole money situation against Shannon. Shannon is obviously, I'm sure, like I don't know what John did for a living. Obviously, he does well enough to live in Southern California in a very nice, expensive place and has a boat and lives on the water. And, he obviously has like a decent lifestyle for himself prior to Shannon. But I'm sure dating Shannon probably even gave him an even better lifestyle than he was probably already living. And I think, yeah, like Shannon said, she was probably happy to do that. Because when you love somebody and, you have the money, you want to maybe provide things to them or do things for them that are nice because you have that privilege to. So it just to me is so shady that he's using this like 75 grand against him. I think I did mention this in my other video. I did see a video of Shannon talking about how she basically wanted to settle the 75 grand issue with him outside of the show and basically have them sign a non-disparagement agreement. I'm sorry if you can hear, I am making bone broth and I can hear my instant pot going off, and I have the laundry going and the air is going, so I'm sure this is going to be a nice loud video. She said she wanted to settle this and basically have them sign a non-disparagement agreement. John apparently would not agree to that, and then now Alexis is on the show, and they're basically, in my opinion, they are blackmailing her with this footage that is supposedly so bad. To me at this point, I don't even necessarily care what the footage is. To me, it's like you are just making yourself look worse. Like Alexis at the end is, I'm skipping ahead a lot. I'm skipping around and all over, and I'm skipping dee-doo-dah all over this episode. But it was interesting to see Alexis. I think it was at the end of the episode, or I don't remember exactly where this took place in the episode. I think it was the end. Alexis is breaking down and crying about Shannon doing something to that. She alludes to doing something. She's gonna put on the gloves and like go to battle or whatever she's saying. And it just is very confusing because we're only really seeing John and Alexis really torture Shannon at this point. And they're making out like she's doing things to torture them behind the scenes potentially, but we're not seeing any of that. So to me on the show, it just comes across very much like you guys are just blackmailing her and making her life a living hell. And then on top of it, like Tamra, for some reason, I mean, Tamra is just like trying to pretend like she has any dog in this fight, and she just doesn't. I mean, it's like you could be annoyed with Shannon and you could feel like maybe she's not taking accountability for her DUI, but like what is your skin in the game when it comes to the John, Alexis, Shannon situation? Like, just stay out of it. It's so infuriating. So yeah, so it just seems like they're really bullying her and like beating her into the ground. It just doesn't like, I'm wondering, I guess, where, like, when things are gonna maybe change potentially. I don't know if they are, if we're gonna see a different side to Shannon, if we're gonna see a even worse side, I feel like, to Alexis and John. I don't see how it could get better for them at this point. I have zero sympathy for them. I just feel like they are torturing somebody for no reason other than they just have like some weird vendetta against Shannon. I don't know. So I'd be interested to see where that goes. I also said that, like, at the beginning when Shannon is breaking down to the group of girls at the table, I will say, so nice to see all of the ladies. Like, I mean, it's cool to see them all glammed up and looking nice and whatever, but it's very rare at this point in Housewives and the Housewives franchise to see so many housewives like not wearing makeup and just feeling like looking very vulnerable, honestly. Like, and that breakfast in La Quinta with all of them, like, no makeup, just hanging out, eating breakfast and breaking down and being emotional with each other was so real. And that, to me, was more of like Housewives than Housewives has been in a long time. Like, that was very real to me, a very, I don't know, it was very sweet. And it's very sweet to also see, like, I think just, it's nice to see older women too, I think, kind of be honest about I wrote also, I love these convos of co-parenting, because it's just real, and it's real stuff people go through. And the vulnerability of that scene was so good. To me, that was like a pure Housewives moment. People have struggles, and people, you know, I don't know. To me, it was a very vulnerable, real Housewives moment. That's all I have to say, really. If you know, you know. You know, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. That's just how I felt. I thought it was a good scene between all of them. I also wrote at the very end, I feel like Emily in her confessionals is really just like the voice of reason. Obviously, she's a lawyer, so I feel like she understands and she can argue, you know, any side. I said, I agree with Emily once again. Why are they dragging Shannon along? Like, Alexis and John could just ride off into the sunset and never think or talk about Shannon ever again. But they're really choosing to drag her along. And that's my question, I guess. And that's what I leave with you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm leaving with you. What do you think? There is more that we are going to see of Shannon being this horrible person that they're alleging? Or Alexis and John just gonna look like complete D-bags for torturing Shannon this whole season? I don't know. Like I said, they're playing out these horrible videos that they have. That she also said is her almost running over John's daughter with her car or whatever. To me, I'm like, but is that still? I understand that's bad, and we already know Shannon got into this DUI, but is that bad enough that we need to be going through all of this legal issues and everything, you know, all of that just because of a video of her, which we already knew Shannon was drunk driving that night. Like, she's already gotten in trouble for that. What is the point of that, you know? So what do you guys think? Alexis and John, Shannon, not sure yet. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but those were the main talking points. I could go through a bunch of other stuff, but I just feel like, honestly, a lot of it's fluff. I just wanted to talk about the main points and what I think the overarching theme of the season is going to be in general. So if you like this video, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I also have, this should be already in a playlist, or if you go to my channel, there is a playlist of all of my recaps of this season so far. So if you want to go back and rewatch some of those videos, you know, check it out. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!